2025, George Pickens broke out going for 93 catches and 1,429 yards, which ranked third in the NFL. He averaged 15.4 yards per catch, so how'd he do it? One of his main routes that he ran was a slant route on early downs. He's very physical. He's a big body. It's very hard to defend. He also ran corner routes and deep end routes. One thing I noticed watching this George Pickens film is as a DB, you kind of have to decide, are you going to press or are you going to play off? If you play off, George Pickens is going to be able to run this slant efficiently, effectively, almost every play. He's just so big that he can outbody you, and he's really good at running these slants, and him and Dak Prescott have good timing on that. But if you press, he's so big, he can threaten vertically. Most corners don't have enough size to press him because he's so big. So when he gets vertical, even if you're in good position, he's such an acrobat, and he does such a good job of making these difficult catches, these 50-50 balls. So it's really a no-win. Where you see George Pickens' explosive plays, a lot of times come off of play action. Dallas was really good at running this wide zone play action where Pickens would be able to run these deep over routes. My biggest takeaway on watching this Pickens film is that you cannot cover him one-on-one. He's just so overwhelming with his size. He runs enough routes that he can take you across the field. He can take you deep. He can win on first down. So everything works based off his slant. So in this formation, you see the motion guy come down to the bottom of the screen. He basically just runs a flat route. He basically just runs to the sideline. For whatever reason, the outside corner who's playing off, which to me looks like a quarters, decides to jump on that flat route, ultimately leaving open the middle of the field. Now, I would assume the corner is supposed to play this outside leverage vertically, but for whatever reason, he just took that cheese and he hops on this short route, and it forces his help safety up top that's playing another deep quarter to try to drive on this ball. And there's just a lot of space in the middle of the field. When you combine that with the timing that Dak and GP have, it's an easy completion. Now, this is another play where the slant comes in and is based off the same concept. This slant flat concept, you'll see the tight end run to the flat. He basically runs to the sideline, and GP runs this slant on the inside. Kind of forces communication. It forces the corner to be able to make a decision. You're going to follow this inside leverage or you're going to break on this flat route. Just ends up being an easy completion. The reason I think this was so successful against this Vic Fangio defense is they're often running quarters. They're often running cover three. And what it looks like to me, I don't know for sure, is that they're playing this outside in. So you could look at the outside corner, Quinyon Mitchell. He's playing with this outside leverage. And when you look at the safety, he's also playing with the outside leverage, but they're also playing off. So you're not getting any type of contact on the receiver. I just think that it gets to a point where they're willing to give that up, or based on their concepts, the Cowboys knew that they would defer to the outside threat before they would defer to GP, which is that inside slant. So a lot of this game, GP he's just killing on these inside slants because they're either playing far off or you have this combo of routes that's forcing them out of their leverage. And getting Pickens in space was a problem all year. He averaged 5.2 yards after catch. Then we get down here to this double move, which is like a counter to his slant. And if Cooper DeJean wasn't such an amazing player, George Pickens probably gets this, but DeJean is in such a good position. But we get a view of this amazing catch radius once again. His catching ability on display here, being able to just throw the ball up and you know he's going to come down with it. He was able to win at every level in this game. He's going to try to run this deep end cut here, but the corner is playing with inside leverage. He's in a wonderful position, but Pickens, he's just so physical. He's too big for this guy. He somehow just tosses him aside and goes to get this ball. I hope the Cowboys use Pickens in more stacked formations like this one here next year, where he can run deep over routes, he can run more corner routes, or he could simply be a seam buster. I just think he's so valuable in this role. You could pair him up with CD. You can see here he runs this corner route on Cooper DeJean. I truly believe this is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Pickens. He may be the best wide receiver on his team, and he's just killed with these routes, these slants, these deep ends, and these corners. He's just money on these.